Good morning. This is Tan from Artemis Oracle. You know, I have to do my quick audio check. Give me a moment, please. So while I'm doing this, I could talk to you. Tomorrow is going to be the new moon in Scorpio, or tonight's going to be the new moon in Scorpio, depending on where you are in the world, right? So I wanted to do a new moon reading, but then as I was reading the guidebooks for the oracle cards that I love to use for moon readings. Of course, I was told to look up Jeremiah, who is Archangel Jeremiah or Jeremiel or Jeremiel. I don't know how to pronounce his name. So when I go to get the deck, I end up going into a different deck by mistake. I went into the Divine Masters deck. And then I remembered yesterday that I mentioned Kali Ma. So I decided to pull that card out too, because I feel like she also is part of the Scorpio gang. So I feel like whatever we could read about up on her. But then when I looked into the right deck and I go to take my cards out, I typically keep my cards face down with the book on top, right? I shuffle them, I put them away. I don't look at them because I don't want to know what cards are at the bottom when I pull them out to use for the next reading. So I go and I, take the cards out of the box, and then I see Jeremiah right there looking at me, staring right at me. So it's about personal responsibility. So yesterday I was talking about, and if you watched yesterday's live, I brought up, what did I bring up? I brought up Kali Ma. I also brought up, I forgot what I was going to say. One of the cards that came out with the Moonology deck was look for the signs. The fact that Jeremiah's card was at the bottom of this deck as I'm taking it out of the box is a sign. The fact that I reached for this deck of cards reminded me about Kali Ma, a sign. You could look at for signs, synchronicities, numbers, and stuff. I think I'm also going to pull some angel number cards, and I'm not going to pull them, but we're going to see what numbers come out, so they may be significant to you. So this could be a new moon in Scorpio / signs and synchronicities reading. We're going to see what messages come out. I typically like to take out the relevant cards for the moon cycle or moon phase that we're entering into, just so we can know what the messages are and kind of have like a guideline or a guide as we are going towards manifestation, because new moons are about manifestation. It's basically you're starting off. The new moon is basically a moon that you cannot see. It's dark in the sky. It's not a black moon, because a black moon is when you have two new moons within 1 month or zodiacal sign. But it's a dark moon. It's dark because you don't see it, not because it's of what I just said. Like blue moons, 2 full moons are within a month or zodiacal sign, or 2 new moons is a dark moon will be one of the moons because it's within one zodiacal season, right? But the whole point is, let me digress, is that, a new moon signifies a new beginning. It's a blank slate. And then eventually the moon will start going through its phases. It'll start to wax and then become a waxing crescent, and then it'll be a first quarter moon, and then it'll be a waxing gibbous when it's starting to be like almost full, and then eventually it reaches the full moon phase. So I tend to repeat this because I don't know who may watch these videos and if they don't know how moon phases work. And each phase has a meaning, and as the moon is going through its phases, it's also going through the zodiac. So right now we're gonna have a new moon in Scorpio. So I think currently the moon is in Libra right now. So it's like we're still balancing out things, it's like a preparation as we're beginning this new phase of a moon, and it's preparing us to move forward and start to implement changes, start to move towards goals that we want to come to fruition, and also to start setting intentions for this next moon phase. So the moon phase is typically 28 days. So it's like within 28 days anything can happen, anything good, anything bad. anything, any changes, any improvements, any progress can be seen within 28 months. You know, I mean, 28 days. Well, yeah, I will hope in 28 months you see a lot of progress, you know. But I'm talking and I don't even know if the audio is working. So let me check. 28 months. You know, I mean, 28 days. Well, yeah, I will hope in 28 months you see a lot of progress, you know. But I'm talking and I don't even know if the audio is working. So yeah, the audio is working. All right. Let me put some music back on. I listen to like meditation frequency music and stuff. Okay, let's all right there. And so talking about signs and synchronicities, yesterday when I was walking home, like going to my apartment, I saw these flowers on the floor. And I'm like, what are these? But they looked so beautiful. So my dumb ass picked them up because you can see my nails are purple. They're like purplish or whatever. And squirrel moment. It's early. But with seeing those flowers, I was like, what are these flowers? You know, where are they from? Who dropped them here? You know? But then of course I like to look at meanings of things, you know, things happen for a reason. You know, I just came before I got home, I was with my mother. We were planning my brother's services. We decided on what we wanted for him. And, you know, we're going to be having his, the plans. I don't really want to say what they are. We're moving forward with those plans and for next week. So that's when we'll finally be, you know, send our final goodbyes. But our brother, he's always with us. Like right now, as I'm doing this, I'm talking to you guys. I'm not really talking to anybody because no one's here, but I'm looking at my brother's picture, you know, he was such a beautiful person. I will always remember him. I remember when he was born. I'm his oldest sister, so he's my baby brother. You know, I have other brothers, but he's the youngest brother I have. And it's to know that he's gone and it happened so fast. I'm glad he didn't suffer. And that, you know, he was in good spirits prior to his passing. You know, I'm a Scorpio, so I should be able to say he's dead, but I don't like saying that because he's not, you know. I was with my mother yesterday and she was telling me that she heard him speak to her, you know, that he, you know, he told her that he loved her. And I believe her because sometimes I hear a voice. No, I don't hear a voice, but there's something that in me that compels me to say something, you know. Like sometimes I was just randomly say, I love you, 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 you know. But I don't know if it's because someone's saying that to me or it's because I'm saying that because somebody needs to hear it, you know. And I believe in telepathy because I, you know, when you connect with people, you can really connect with them energetically and mentally. It's annoying because the headaches are so annoying, especially when, you know, you're not really open to that. But I digress. Let's get started with this new moon reading. I'm going to start off with the Moonology Oracle cards, which is the OG Moonology cards. I was inspired to get them because of I don't know what reader it was. I think it was Alex Heels Tarot. I saw her with these cards and me always had an affinity for the moon ever since I was a little girl. And when I saw those cards, I was like, you know what? Why not get them? So these are my second Oracle deck ever. The first one I ever purchased, no, actually was gifted to me, was the Angel Answers cards. And that was when Doreen Virtue was still part of the spiritual community, but she's no longer with the spiritual community. But I feel like you can be spiritual and religious. You know, it could go hand in hand, you know. So I think you can be religious, but also be spiritual. I think it's you know, you could create the practice that works for you, you know. So it's like religion isn't like one size fits all. You have to pick and choose what aligns with you. You don't necessarily have to go straight and follow the religion to the T because there may be certain things that don't align with you, you know. But the religion itself, the teachings, the scriptures, even the messages, the prophets, the main characters, you want to, I would say, of the religion can resonate with people, but there may be certain things that don't align. So, but I'm gonna jump off of that. And so if you're watching the replay, please give this video a like. If you like new moon readings, full moon readings, if you like oracle card readings, if you just like, you're into spiritual stuff. My name is Tan. This is my channel, Artemis Oracle. And I'm going to get started with this new moon and Scorpio reading. So the time is 10:40 on the clock. So the first card that we have for new moon and Scorpio is work through your fears. This card suggests a rebirth. Think of your situation as the phoenix that's rising from the ashes, as the birth, death, rebirth paradigm. That's what Scorpio energy is all about. Whatever you've been through, there's a new start ahead. Excuse me. It might be a little dark. It almost certainly won't be rainbows and unicorns, but it will be deep and transforming. This card also suggests that if you know you are magical, then this is the time to work your magic. It can be also herald the start of a sexier time. If you've been experiencing something of a drought, and emotional intimacy is also on the menu. Scorpio is the sign that likes to go deep into body, mind, and spirit. So when this card comes up, there's nothing superficial about what's coming your way. So attuned to the moon has some sexy time. Sexy time doesn't necessarily mean you have to be with someone else. I mean, you could be sexy on your own, you know? It's about like doing things that make you feel good about yourself, make you appreciate your sexual being, and it doesn't have to involve anybody else. But if you're fortunate enough to have someone to share those moments with, then go right ahead, honey. Additional meanings for this card is time to let go of a grudge you're holding, move on from jealousy, stop being obsessive. Could it be you're being paranoid and make an investment? I said that like Chandler. Could you be any more paranoid? You know? All right, the teaching is Scorpio is the sign of death and rebirth, magic and shamans. Its energy is a little bit dark, occult, even scary. Not all of us like to face the shadow, but Scorpio demands it. In fact, it's through working through your dark side that you can get to the light. And the new moon in Scorpio and the appearance of this card at any other time suggests you need to do that now. So work through your fears. Face your shadow. You know, like I mentioned, just because we have these dark thoughts, dark moments, doesn't mean we're bad people. Everybody has a shadow side. It's just a matter of how well we are aligned and in tuned and accept those shadowy parts of ourselves. You know, some people have more shadow in them and they may be better, they can better operate in that. But I think just as long as you're not doing anything to harm other people, by taking advantage of them or being deceptive, and doing any physical or mental harm, then, you know, fine, live in your shadow self, but just as long as you're not trying to destroy other people in the process, you know. But some people operate better in the shadow than they do in the light, you know, and that's where you have to figure out where can you come out of the shadows and come into the light. Because why does the light scare you? I don't know why I'm saying this. But that might be significant. Some people may be feeling safe being, or feel comfortable in sadness and depression and grief and, you know, these lower vibrational. But then why are you afraid to ascend from that? Why are you afraid to be in the light? What are you afraid of being seen? What are you hiding? And that could be a fear. If you want to hide something, it's because there's a fear of something, a fear of it being seen, a fear of it being judged. I mean, there's certain things I don't agree with. I don't agree with PDF files. As a parent, no. As someone who's experienced abuse, hell no. I don't agree with those people. If you want to call them people, I know they were victims, but, you know, they're just perpetuating a vicious cycle of abuse, you know. Anyway, I don't know why I went that, but so, you know, so everything comes to light. That's all I'm going to say. All right. New moon in Scorpio. Go deeper. This is the Moonology Manifestation Oracle cards. Go deeper. You're regaining control of a situation that cut deep. You've moved through your fears and can now see where the issue has come from. Now isn't the time to gloss over the facts. So this is not a time about to gaslight yourself, to act like everything isn't as bad as it is. This is about facing the truth, right? Now isn't the time to gloss over the facts. Rather, it's time for you to face your darkest concerns and go deeper. Your situation may need to crumble before it can be renewed. Magic is called for. It's crucial to stay strong now. Sexually, it's time to reach for true communion with your partner. Financially, this is a blessed time to work with someone on a joint venture. It's time to release a grudge. This card is an especially good sign for matters related to sex, money, or an obsession you've been grappling with. But, since I took these cards out, I don't know if that message applies, but please take it as it does. Now that you know that you're magic, clear out negativity to supercharge your manifesting powers. Manifesting tips for cutting through fears. Call in Archangel Jeremiel, or Jeremiah, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, the angel who helps us to review our lives. Channel the energy of Pluto, the planet that guides the sign of Scorpio and likes to go under the radar. Light a candle and ask Archangel Jeremiah to help you see what you need to acknowledge and break through in your life right now. And the manifestation affirmation is, life goes in cycles and my life is now regenerating. So you can see the card better. It says the best time to work your magic is when the moon is in Scorpio on a Tuesday, Mars day, or during Mars hour. So the moon is going to be on a Thursday. And by the time we reach next Tuesday, it's probably going to be in Capricorn or in Aquarius, because the moon, it moves. It doesn't stay still for us. It goes through its phases. The moon basically has a life of its own. It's going through its own cycle the same way we do. So let me go into, because it mentioned Jeremiah, and it mentioned that you have to take accountability. Basically, like I say, take accountability, but to sum it up, it's like call on Archangel Jeremiah. Or maybe some of you need some protection. It's weird because I did see a card about protection, but personal responsibility with Jeremiah. Take responsibility for your choices. This is an opportunity for inner growth. Scorpio season is coming to an end in the next few days, but this is a time for you to acknowledge certain things that you need to outgrow in order to grow. You have to take responsibility for your own actions. You can't blame other people, because if there's a situation, like any situation that we're involved in, we choose to be involved in, and please don't mention anything about abuse victims and stuff, because that's a totally different animal. And I'm not touching on that. I'm talking about people who are in a place where they can, they have more control over their own life. All right, Jeremiah, personal responsibility. Take responsibility for your choices. This is an opportunity for inner growth. Jeremiah, God's mercy, is a powerful angel who shines a light on the aspects of our life that need reflection and honesty in order for us to move forward with love and authenticity. He helps us understand and embody what it really means. Have mercy and reach a state of forgiveness. Just by sensing his presence, we may feel guided to let go of an old story that's holding us in our past so that we can experience the miracle of our present. I found this reel on Instagram that I shared, and it's very popular. I'm glad so many people are liking it. I'm happy to share things that I find, because I know that sometimes we lose sight of things, and I like to think of myself as a messenger. I'm not saying I'm a prophet or anything, but someone that could, you may come across whatever I post, and it may not be mine. It's what I'm sharing, and I leave the name of the creator on the video so that you can see that it's coming from another source. But I like to share things that I think are relevant, that people need to remember, just to give you perspective, to bring you back to the present moment, because I think that's where we lose sight, that we're so focused on the past that we don't see what's in front of us in this in this current moment, or we're so focused on the future that we can't be at peace. When we're thinking about the future so much, which is unwritten, it's undecided. I mean, like they say it's written, but we don't know what's on the other side of it. If you're someone who believes that we come into this earth and we choose this life and that we know what we're going to expect, they say we forget what it is that we're going to experience. And then we end up going through this fool's journey with our eyes and hands bound and covered. Um, but the energy of forgiveness is here, waiting to be called in and embodied. Angels are here too, inviting you to take a step back and review your current situation before moving forward. If you have received feedback or identified that your choices or actions have been to the detriment of someone around you, it's important to own your part in it. But you also have to own the part you have in your own life. It's not easy taking responsibility for actions that hurt others, especially if that wasn't in your intention. But you will feel better about owning your part than defending your actions. And in turn, this will welcome in the energy of peace. Peace is so important. Peace is so priceless. But the only way you could be at peace, because think about this, when you start to take responsibility for your action instead of trying to explain and make excuses for yourself. I know some people, they tend to like to play the victim, but it's like you're a victim of a game that you decided to play in. And I've gone through shit. Like, I didn't have to participate. If I participated, then I guess you play shitty games, you're going to win shitty prizes, right? And that's basically what it is. You have to own up to whatever's going on in your life, and even any pain that you may have caused yourself and may have caused other people. With you taking accountability for your own actions, that's going to help release any guilt or shame that you may be holding on to. You may not be consciously aware of it, but subconsciously that may be what's going on within you, Because when we feel the need to explain away something, it's because we want to be understood. We want to excuse it away. But some things aren't meant to be excused. They can be explained, but cannot be excused. All right. Before I go into the Kali Ma card, because I feel like I really need to tie this in, went into the Moonology manifestations just to see what other messages we can get. And it's interesting that the Jeremiah card mentions taking responsibility, going deeper, and then working through your fears, But then when I was shuffling and these cards came out, it says attend to the details, the last quarter moon in Virgo, unleash your kindest self with the first quarter moon in Capricorn, and the last quarter moon in Aquarius, reflect on your priorities. I like that the first quarter moon came out because that's part of a waxing moon. So I think I'm going to read this card, unleash your kindest self. But I feel like with taking responsibility, you're going to have to reflect on your past, reflect on what part you played in something. When it says go deeper, it could be like looking at the little things, looking at the little details, the things that you may not find significant. And I'm not going to say this is for you to go into like Eight of Swords where you're trapped in your thoughts. This is more so just to look over things and, maybe a fine-tooth comb just to see what you missed out on. Because sometimes if we're repeating patterns, we may be missing certain lessons that need to be learned, right? And maybe with what you're going through and you needing to take personal responsibility with something, if that resonates with you, because only take the messages as they resonate with you. I have to put that out there. I have to remind people, unleash your kind yourself. Maybe when you're holding on to like grudges and stuff, that's going to kind of dictate how you're treating other people, or even treating the person that you may have a grudge against. So in order for you to unleash your kindest self, you're going to have to release that grudge, whatever animosity that you may have towards someone, and show the better side of yourself. Show that you are a bigger person, and it's important for you to reflect on what's important to you. It says take personal responsibility. When you're reflecting on things that you've done in the past, you're going to take stock. You're going to take accountability for things that, you may have reacted to. And if there's certain things that reacted to you, then you're going to have to look at what parts of you need to be healed. You know, what parts of your healing need to be prioritized, you know. But at the bottom of the deck, it's interesting that we get the Let Your Fears Dissolve card with the full moon in Cancer. The full moon in Cancer will be in January, you know, because Cancer and Capricorn are the opposite signs of each other. I know this because of my North and South node. And I'm not going to say which was my North or South node because then you're going to know a little bit too much about me. But Unleash Your Kind of Self. I want to read that because that moon is going to be coming up soon. And I can actually find out the date too. So let's go to first quarter moon in Capricorn. Look at that. Unleash Your Kind of Self. Are you being too hard on yourself or someone else? Do you think you need to be strict with yourself or other people to get to where you want to go? Your challenge now is to be disciplined in terms of doing what needs to be done to get what you want without sucking all the joy out of it. Feeling good about life is one of the most powerful tools you have when it comes to manifesting. So be kind and be your most charming self. And remember, I mentioned that video. I didn't even say what video it was, but it was a short where it shows a monk talking about that, how we had to live in the present moment because yesterday is dead and tomorrow isn't born. Today is life. Be present in this moment. Be present. Live day by day, not but based on the past or focused on the future. Live in this moment. Be present. You know, if you're present, like I mentioned yesterday in the live, when you're present in this moment, you're able to see the signs and synchronicities. You're also are open and depending on where you are energetically, don't want to miss out on the delivery of something good, you know? It's good to be realistic, but you don't have to it's good to be realistic, but you don't have to have the stench of reality so far up your nose that you can no longer smell life's perfumes. Butting heads with others just wears you out in the end. So get into the right mindset for manifesting by deciding you're no longer going to take the bait or provoke a situation. And I talked about like how when you're taking responsibility, looking at what parts of yourself that you need to prioritize healing with when it comes to triggers, things that come up that really are triggers, basically are teachers, and they teach you what parts of you are still in need in healing, where you still have some tender points. I also shared a video about like the spiral of healing. When you go through a difficult situation, it's like you're growing outward. So you're going to grow around it. That's where the healing comes, you know, and then you revisit what the trigger or moment is. But it's like to see how far you have come with healing. And if that traumatic event still is something that you need to heal from, or it's something that you've already healed past. Healing takes time. Remember, broken bones don't heal overnight. So broken hearts don't heal overnight either. They take time, take patience, and requires compassion. It says the solar plexus chakra, the Manipura, is the center of courage and confidence. This energy can restore vitality and help you to feel brighter and more secure. Visualize yourself in a column of shimmering yellow sunlight. Hold the card to your solar plexus and call in the energies by repeating this version of Louise Hay's famous affirmation. Energies of the first quarter moon in Capricorn, thank you for reminding me that I am a loving child of the universe. The best time to work your magic is when the moon is in Capricorn on a Saturday, Saturn's day, or during Saturn's hour. All right, so I just wanted to read that card because we do have that moon coming up soon, since we are in a new moon, and then it's going to go to the waxing phase where we'll reach the first quarter moon. So I want to see when the first quarter moon is going to happen. Or when the moon will be in Capricorn. Let's see. Got to go to Lunoff. That's one of the best websites to go to. For me, I feel like you can look up past, present, and future moon phases. I think that's the only way you could look, you know, because I like to do that, you know. I like to add a little bit of predictive stuff in my readings, you know. And I feel like it may resonate with some of you. So the first quarter moon that we're going to have is on November 28th. That's, I believe, is after Thanksgiving. So, and that's going to be in Pisces. So November 28th may be significant. Because these moons are waning moons. So they're going into the new moon phase. This one is going to the full moon phase. So that's why I wanted to look it up. So the 28th, I want to see when we have the first quarter moon in Capricorn too. Okay, let's see. I'm going to check December. It might be in, let me see. First quarter moon. Okay, so I feel like the 28th because for me to find the first quarter moon in Capricorn is going to take me a while. So it may not be significant at all. Capricorn season may be significant. Virgo and Aquarius season too. So we have 2 earth signs and then an air sign. Okay. But I felt like I had to read that. I felt compelled to. Now, I'm going to go into the Kali Ma card because I did mention her in a reading yesterday, and then I pulled this box out by mistake, and then looking for the Jeremiah card, and then I was like, hey, wait, we can read up on the Kali Ma. I feel like she would fall under one of the Scorpio goddesses. Kali Ma, divine severance, cut the cords to dramas, fear, and limitations. Kali Ma is the Hindu goddess of death and rebirth. She is the destroyer of evil forces and protector of liberation. In the Hindu pantheon, she is the most powerful expression of Shakti, who is ultimately an expression of life force energy in a dynamic feminine form. In Sanskrit, Kala means darkness, and Ma means to bring or create. And remember, mothers, Ma, Mommy, and Mama. Mothers bring life. Okay. So Kali Ma is the bringer of darkness. Darkness isn't to be feared. However, over the years, especially in Western culture, we've been told that it is bad. But in fact, it's a sacred part of life. Before we were born, we were all wrapped in the darkness of the womb. The earth herself was born in the darkness of the cosmic sky. And every night when we sleep, we step back into the space. So the great goddess Kali brings the energy of creation, birth, and renewal. And with this new moon, this is like a renewal for all of us. Regardless of your sign, your sign is insignificant because we're all going to be under this new moon. Okay. Stop. And the message is stop right there. Don't let dramas or other disruptive energies get between you and the light you were born to be. Remember, I mentioned the light. Why are we afraid? Some people are afraid of being in the light. Some people are comfortable being in the shadow. What are you afraid of being seen? What are you hiding? Are you afraid of being judged? Are you afraid of not being accepted? The first person that needs to accept you is you, So it says, before a molehill becomes a mountain, release yourself from a situation that is only going to drain you and bring you pain. Today, the universe, through the great goddess Kali, is encouraging you to cut the cords between you and unnecessary people, places, and situations. Do it now. Your soul desires freedom and liberation. In your current circumstances, you are holding the wheel of karma in your own hand, and you get to decide if a situation takes over your energy or not. Don't let yourself be pulled into something that is not yours to deal with or carry. Carry your karma and your future back into your own hands. If you're afraid, good. That means you're on the cusp of something great unfolding. You got to cut the cords, sometimes it's hard for me to do that. I'll admit. I had to cut the cord with somebody, but then I became concerned and then try to but I don't know what's going on with that person, so I don't know even why I'm bringing that up. But it's you gotta cut the cords, dramas, fears, and remember we did have the let your fears dissolve, work through your fears. In order to kind of outgrow these things, we're going to have to learn how to move through them, and eventually they will release us. Fears trap us. You don't want to be trapped anymore. So you got to work through what's keeping you trapped, because sometimes it's your own mind that keeps us trapped. The 8 of Swords energy. Let me see what time it is. Okay, I want to pull a few tarot cards to see what I want. 3 cards, and then what this new moon phase? What this new moon phase? What good could the collective look forward to? What good can the collective look forward to with this new moon phase? Realization. So you're going to be having some realizations, new ideas, determination, and defense came out. I think some of you are going to be having certain realizations, and they're going to be coming to you through the form of new ideas, something that's going to inspire you, ignite a spark within you. It's going to also ignite creativity or let's see, realization, new ideas. So the Page of Wands is a messenger, right? But messengers receive and they give messages. So you're most likely going to receive a message that's going to ignite something in you. It's going to spark something within you. And then it's going to cause you to want to move forward towards something that's, I guess that really calls to your heart, that really ignites a passion, something that you really care about, but it's also going to be something that you're going to defend, especially if it has to do with something that is your own truth, with a realization coming in, but whatever you're going to go towards, as long as you go do the necessary shadow work, you maintain a positive mindset, don't allow your fears to get the best of you, and you stand your ground and move towards whatever it is that you are moving towards, whether it could be anything. It could be a person, place, thing, job, hobby, anything you're going to be successful in. But it's a matter of releasing what doesn't serve you and not allowing the past to weigh you down as you're going into this new moon phase of Scorpio. This is about not holding back anymore, not holding on to the past, and not holding on to the pain, not holding on to grudges, not holding on to obsessions or fears, anything that is essentially a burden to you. Okay, so that's the message I have. Okay, Cinderella Verdzinski, what's coming towards me? Okay, I'll read that because I have to get off and before 9 o'clock because I have to go to work. Well, let's see what's coming towards Cinderella. What's coming towards Cinderella? What's coming towards Cinderella? One card for Cinderella. Okay, the Sun. If there's something that you wanted to work for, or I mean, if there's something that you've been wanting, or something that you've been working towards, something that you've been putting a lot of hard work in, because I did see the Devil card, and the Devil is Capricorn. Capricorn is the sign about this discipline and focus and work. And so if there's any area of your life that you've been putting a lot of work towards, you're going to be seeing some success with that. So I hope that message helps you, Cinderella, even though you're not there anymore, but I read for you anyway. Okay. So let's see if there's any other messages I can give you. Oh yeah, I wanted to pull angel numbers. So that could be a sign of synchronicity for you. Oh, I'll also pull some charms since I have some time. So some signs or synchronicities that you can look for to let you know that you're on the right path as we're going through this new moon in Scorpio phase. So let's see what angel numbers we get. What angel numbers do we get? I did see 1, 2, 3 at the bottom of the deck, which has to do with progress. Okay, but let's see if that card comes out. Okay, what angel number will the collective let the collective know that they're going on the right path? What angel number will let the collective know they're going towards the right path or that they're on the right path? We have the number 22 for harmony. We have a bunch of numbers. I think, this is too, you know what? I'll take these. We have 69 for accountability. And then we have personal responsibility showing up. Some of you may have Cancer in your chart. Or some of you may like 69. Awaken 11. Leveling up, 1144. And 77, purpose. So these are the numbers that you may be seeing. Also, you may be seeing 44, 44, triumph. So the numbers we have are 22, 69, 11, 1144, 77, and 44, 44. Okay, so that those could be some numbers that are significant to you. All right, so let me get some charms too. So I have a little bit of time left. Okay, so we have Pisces. So Pisces sign. Maybe some of you are having dreams ruled by Neptune, the cat, following your intuition. Yeah, well, Pisces is one of the most intuitive signs as well. Slow and steady wins the race with the turtle charm. We also have Sagittarius. So Sagittarius season, or you may have Sagittarius in your chart. I know I do. And then we have Leo. Leo, that could also be in your chart. Let's get some letters. This may be in your name. Well, this is about you, the collective. So let's see if your initials may come up. This letter may be in your name, your first, middle, or last name, or even your nickname, pet name, or username. Okay. We have the letter M. M for Mary. Mary could be your name, but I'm just saying M, so you know. I'm saying M for Mary. J for justice. We have F for faith. F for faith. X for Xavier. That depends. I don't know if people say Xavier, but X. We have two Fs, so you may have two F's in your name. Your name, I don't know. I want to say Jeffrey. Some of you, your name may be Jeffrey because I see JFF and then Y. Y for yes. We have C for courage because we did have Leo coming out. So some of you may be needing to employ or get some courage with something. Okay, so that's it. Yeah. So those letters, M for Mary, J for justice, F, two F's for faith, Y for yes, C for courage, and X for Xavier or X-ray, Then Pisces, Sagittarius, Leo, turtle, and cat. You may have a cat, you may have a pet turtle. Slow and steady wins the race. Use your intuition. I would say also with the Pisces coming out, pay attention to your dreams. You may be getting some downloads. You may be getting some information or messages that may be relevant to you and maybe new ideas. Inspiration, guidance. And Sagittarius, we're heading into Sagittarius season. So maybe luck is on your side. And also with the lion, Leo, remain brave, stand your ground. Don't, overcome your fears, overcome your anxieties, overcome your insecurities, tame that beast within you that holds you back or may cause you to react in a negative way. Take responsibility for your own actions, your behaviors, your life, and, face your fears, face your fears, FF, be fearless. Okay, so I'm going to end the reading there. I hope you have a wonderful new moon in Scorpio, and I'm wishing you a wonderful day, afternoon, or evening ahead. Sending you lots of love and light. Take care. Bye.